Okay, well, I mean, when I'm in town again, we should go for a ride together. I mean, if you...
Now that the trilogy is wrapped up, what are the chances we'll see the Kissing Booth 4? Since the books that inspired the franchise also ended with the third one, if they decide to make a fourth film, Netflix would need to come up with a whole new story to keep Elle, Noah, and Lee's journeys going. One idea could be about Elle and Noah rekindling their romance while Lee focuses on building a life with Rachel. So let's dive into what we know about whether the Kissing Booth 4 is actually happening. The ending of The Kissing Booth 3 wraps up the Netflix trilogy, giving us a look at what happens to Elle, Noah, and the rest of the crew. Set in the summer after Elle, Lee, and Rachel graduate high school, the film explores Elle's struggle to choose between going to Harvard with Noah or Berkeley with her best friend Lee. When the Flynns decide to sell their family beach house, the friends move in for one last summer together. During this time, Elle decides to attend Harvard and tries to make things right with Lee by tackling a summer bucket list they created as kids. However, with her summer job, her dad's new girlfriend, and Marco popping back up to win her over, Elle quickly feels overwhelmed, putting a strain on her relationships. By summer's end, Elle and Noah break up, Lee and Rachel go their separate ways, and Elle ultimately decides to pursue video game design at USC instead of either Berkeley or Harvard. Returning cast members include Joey King, Jacob Elordi, Joel Courtney, and Molly Ringwald. Throughout The Kissing Booth 3, Elle's relationship with Noah struggles, mainly due to her busy summer schedule and her growing friendship with Marco, which makes Noah feel left out. After a heated confrontation with Marco at the beach house, Noah leaves on his motorcycle, only to break up with Elle later at the Hollywood sign, the same place where they shared their first intimate moment. While Elle's fling with Marco and her packed agenda play a part in their breakup, Noah reveals that he wants her to prioritize herself, telling her, "I don't want to be one of the people who make you put yourself last." Although their relationship seems over by the end of the movie, it's hinted that there's still hope for them. In the film's final scene set 6 years later, Elle and Noah unexpectedly bump into each other at a charity fair. They share a moment of intense eye contact and smiles, with Noah, now a Harvard graduate, deciding between law firms in New York and LA, potentially leading him back to Elle. They plan to hang out the next time he's in town, and as he walks away, both are visibly emotional with tears in their eyes. A soft love song plays in the background, reinforcing the romantic vibe. While their future as a couple remains uncertain, the movie ends with them going for a motorcycle ride together, suggesting their connection is still strong and possibly reignited. In the first two Kissing Booth movies, Elle and Lee have their fair share of arguments but manage to keep their friendship intact, and the same goes for the third film. Elle's decision about college stings Lee, especially when she misses their final Dance Dance Revolution game. However, their long history and deep affection for each other help them overcome these bumps in their relationship. They've been friends for years, and the memories they share are a big theme in The Kissing Booth 3. Even though rule number 19, you always go to the same school as your bestie, drives a wedge between them, rule number 18, always be happy for your bestie's successes, brings them back together. Eventually, Lee accepts Elle's choice to attend USC instead of Harvard or Berkeley and celebrates her success. Their ability to reflect on their own flaws and support each other keeps their friendship strong as they head into college and beyond. During their argument, Elle finally calls out Lee for his financial privilege and entitled attitude, issues that have been lingering in their friendship. Lee acknowledges his character flaws, and Elle sets aside her pride when she admits she got into Berkeley. This self-reflection on both sides is crucial for their friendship's survival. In the final moments of The Kissing Booth 3, we see that Lee and Rachel have reunited and are engaged, which makes sense given their past. Despite their breakup in The Kissing Booth 2, they still cared for each other, and the time apart allowed them to grow individually before deciding if they were meant to be together. While the movie doesn't detail how they ended up back together, Rachel's earlier words about finding their way back to each other rings true. As for the beach house, there's a bit of a plot hole when Sarah Flynn decides not to sell it at the last minute. The sentimental value of the house, highlighted through flashbacks and symbols like the doorway marked with the kids' heights, seems to sway her decision. Elle gives Sara a nostalgic photo of the three of them at the beach house, which prompts her to reconsider. However, it's hard to believe Sara would flip-flop after already deciding to sell, especially considering the house was supposed to be torn down. Ultimately, the film wraps up with Elle choosing her own path rather than ending up with Noah or Marco, showing her independence. Her continued bond with Lee emphasizes that true friendships can withstand time and distance. Additionally, Lee and Rachel's reunion, along with the possibility of Elle and Noah getting back together, illustrates that taking time apart can help them grow and find their way back to one another. The fact that the school is still using the kissing booth in the final scene symbolizes the enduring nature of their relationships and hints at future generations of teens who might be influenced by the same experiences. Now let's dive into whether the Kissing Booth 4 will happen. The third movie wraps up the series nicely, taking us 6 years into the future, where all the characters have completed college. Because of this satisfying conclusion, there are currently no plans for the Kissing Booth 4. The source material, written by Beth Reekles, also concluded with the third book titled The Kissing Booth 3 One Last Time, which heavily inspired the final film. That said, if there's enough demand from fans, it's not entirely out of the question that Netflix might decide to continue the franchise. Since there's been no official announcement about the Kissing Booth 4, there's no confirmed cast either. However, if it does get the green light, you can expect to see Joey King, Jacob Elordi, and Joel Courtney reprise their roles as Elle, Noah, and Lee. Given that the Kissing Booth 3 ended with the characters 6 years older, we might see new characters introduced as they step into adulthood. Since the books concluded with the third installment, if the Kissing Booth 4 moves forward, Netflix will need to come up with a fresh storyline to continue the journeys of Elle, Noah, and Lee. One potential plot could focus on Elle and Noah rekindling their relationship while Lee builds his life with Rachel. Right now, it's tough to say when the Kissing Booth 4 will be released, especially since Netflix has a packed schedule. Plus, the writers will need to brainstorm to an original story for this potential sequel. However, the time jump at the end of the third film gives them some creative freedom, as it frees them from the constraints of the actors' real ages when playing younger characters. So while we wait and see, the possibility of another installment isn't completely off the table. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop.